Can you tell me how you got involved with the scheme of Pannage?
Okay, well, Pannage is obviously turning the pigs out, and we are New Forest commoners, and it's part of our tradition, part of our way of life that we've done for generations now. My family have always turned out pigs. We've turned out obviously sheep and cows and ponies as well, but pigs have been an important part of this. So we've always turned out pigs in the autumn months. The dates are dictated by who we call the verderers, which are a bit like magistrates in the forest. Now, we turn out the pigs in the autumn when the acorns start to drop. Depending on the size of the acorn drop is how many pigs we turn out. This year we haven't turned out that many. It's been like a bit of an average year, but in a good year we could turn out maybe 30, 40, 50 plus pigs at a particular time. So it depends on the acorns. Acorns will drop, and I've got a theory that it works on a 5-year basis. So normally around about the 4th or 5th year, we get a huge deluge of acorns. And this is sort of nature's way of overcoming the pigs that will eat the acorns, or other animals that eat acorns. Deer eat the acorns, and obviously, you know, squirrels. The acorns are poisonous to ponies and cattle. And we do lose, unfortunately, a few ponies and cows each year through acorn poisoning. But what happens is massive drop of acorns, and the idea is then that some of the acorns will survive to germinate. We turn out on the 11th of October, which, as I say, has been dictated to us by the verderers, and we turn these out, let them go. But what we have to do, we have to put rings in the noses. Now, if you've ever seen a ploughed field, well, a pig in a very short period of time can make a hell of a mess of a field. And in fact, actually, there is a theory that a plough was developed on a pig's nose. Anyway, the pig will turn over the turf, so we have to put rings in their noses, and we put a minimum of about 3 to 4 rings in their nose. And the idea is that it still allows them to eat, but if they try to turn the turf over, it makes it a bit more uncomfortable and they don't do it. Now, an adjuster is a chap that works for the verderers, and his job is to look after the welfare and to check on the stock in a particular area. But also what he does, part of his job, is to collect the marking fees. So we put rings in the pigs' noses. This chap then comes out, an adjuster. An adjuster is from the word agis, meaning to rent. Now he pops out, he checks to make sure that we rung them properly. So they've got to have 3 to 4 rings in their nose. And also what he then does, he puts a tag in their ears, and we have to pay a marking fee. So we pay about £2 per pig to turn out. And it's based on a bit like the old car tax system, a different colour tag for different years. So we pay our money, he puts the tags in, he makes sure that the pigs are rung properly, and also they're in good condition. We generally turn out native pigs, so we turn out what we call a Hampshire saddleback.
In terms of the forest environment, how useful are the pigs for the New Forest?
Yeah, the pigs themselves are the benefits to the forest is that they create what we call a mosaic of grazing patterns. Pig will eat acorns as well as grass, but what the nature, the ecosystem in the forest needs is that what we call a mosaic of patterns. Their feet create a bit of poaching, and that is ideal for a particular plant, especially in this area, called the small fleabane. 92% of the UK's population grows here in the forest, but for it to germinate and to grow, it needs the ground to be slightly poached. So even if you see a small area of mud where the pigs maybe have congregated around a tree or a particular bush, that's ideal for this plant to start growing.
So how long have you actually lived here in the forest?
We've lived here, and my family have lived here. I've lived here all my life. This is all I've ever really done was farming and commoning. My grandparents and my father, it's always been in the family, and we've always turned out animals on the forest, part of our sort of family tradition in many ways, and we're very proud of that, very proud. People say to us that if someone called you a commoner, it's almost derogatory. But in the days when that term was coined, you had to be a free man. Back in those days, you were a serf. Basically, you had to belong to a lord of the manor. And the only person that could become a commoner was free men. So to be called a commoner was quite a compliment. Nowadays, I think it still is. I mean, we're very, very proud of the tradition we do, very proud of the animals we turn out. I'm a full-time commoner. I have a farm, and I say that commoning is part of the farm. But nowadays, a lot of percentages of commoners are part-time. They actually manage to fit this in around working in other jobs. I know people who are lawyers, doctors, nurses, that all turn out ponies, cattle and pigs. And it's something that gets hold of you and you can't really ever let it go. And I full credit to those people that do that part-time, because it's a full-time job really. You know, all our animals roam the forest. They have a fantastic natural life, and that reflects in the quality of the product that we produce. People nowadays are very, very keen on welfare, extremely high welfare, and we pride ourselves in taking the most care of our animals. The pigs have an amazing life. You know, I said about putting rings in their noses earlier on, but literally that's over in a few minutes or a few seconds even. And from then onwards, they're as free as you can be, absolutely eating their natural foods, they're running around the forest. And this reflects in the product that we produce. We have a local produce, a provenance type stamp called the New Forest Mark. And that sort of guarantees you where that meat has come from. It's been reared, it's been produced in the forest, and it's produced with pride and passion in what we're trying to do. The demand is getting increasing every year. We hear inquiries now from Liverpool, from London, but we have to try and meet that demand, and we've got to try and put more pigs out. But it is very seasonal, and it depends on the acorn drop. We can't overproduce. We have to take care of the forest. The forest is part of our farm. And we can't put too many animals out. We can only put out what there is to eat.